Hey, howdy, hey, everyone. My name is Joseph, and I'm kind of new at this. I've been a YouTuber for well over 10 years now, on and off. I haven't really been as consistent. But for as long as I've been on YouTube and all that, probably by far my favorite kind of videos to watch are World of Warcraft, lore videos, and occasionally I even delve into top 10s. Actually, I love top 10s. That's probably my favorite thing to watch. Unfortunately, there's not too many of those around anymore, so I'm probably going to jump in and make my own. I already have one. If you want to click wherever, I might even just put it in the description. I'm going to center myself a little bit more. There we go. So, what this video is really about, again, I've never made a speculatory or theory type video like this, and honestly, it's probably not even going to have any theories going on. I have like a double mic going on. Let's close that. Okay. So yeah, I've never made a video about this, so forgive me. This video is probably gonna be really bad, but I'm new at this. But this is content that I actually truly want to make. So hopefully I get the hang of it. Hopefully I can stay looking at the camera and not wander off looking somewhere else. Because all right, let's jump into it. So World of Warcraft, it's been around for a long time, obviously. And there's a lot of things that they're not very clear about. Even the old gods, which are playing a really prominent role in the next coming updates to World of Warcraft, and they're probably going to become the main antagonist, if not in this expansion, maybe the next one. So, with that said, with something as in your face as old gods, even their background lore, their history isn't as clear as you would imagine it to be. Same go with the Titan. Same go with the Titans. Same goes with the Titans. Looking at like what we know about the Titans, we really didn't know too much. We had an idea of their story, and then Chronicle came out, and Chronicle shed a lot of light on it, but it's still not. We still don't. There's still a lot of gray areas. There's still black lines and things that we just don't know that happened way back then. So, with that said, World of Warcraft has beautiful lore, and despite what you say about the current state of World of Warcraft, this is the best piece of storytelling, at least in my opinion, that we've had in a long, long time. I think World of Warcraft is peaked right now with their storyline. I just wish that the content was as good as it should be. So anyway, World of Warcraft has never been in your face with a lot of the stuff. Sometimes things are going on in the background. With all that said, now out of the way, the people who work on the cinematics are very detail oriented. With that, they don't mess up. Everything you see is perfect. I don't think I've ever saw a mistake in any of their stuff. So when we're looking at, let's just look at the Lordaeron cutscene, for example. Jaina has been absent for a long time. There's a lot of things that's been going on in Azeroth that she's not aware of. So when Sylvanas drops the bomb and says that Darnassus has been burnt down, you see her reaction. And that's something that traditionally you wouldn't see in a lot of stuff. Sometimes people just stand there and just say, "Oh, Darnassus is burnt down." But you see her reaction, and that shows how fine attention to detail that they actually pay in these cutscenes. So let's go on. Let's move on. There's what I'm trying to get at is the little details that tell the story. Obviously, there's a big picture, Sylvanas and Anduin, but the little picture, Jaina just found out that Teldrassil has been burnt down. So with all that said, the cinematic team pays so much attention to micro detail. It's insane. I don't wanna be off topic for too long. I actually just want to jump into this. Something that has always interested me about World of Warcraft. It's definitely a story of manipulation and a story of deception. It's been such a recurring theme. I mean, throughout most of the story of World of Warcraft, you had so much manipulation going through. For instance, Enzoth manipulating Neltharion, becoming Deathwing, and terrorizing the world. You had Gul'dan. He manipulated the Horde's election to allow Blackhand to become War Chief. You had Jaina trying to manipulate Varian into taking out the Horde when they were at their weakest. I mean, you can go on and on and on about the manipulation aspect of World of Warcraft's lore. So it's safe to say if it happened back then, it's more unlikely happening right now, and we're just not aware of it yet. But going back to how detail-oriented these cutscenes are, something that strikes me so much are the eyes. And I feel like the eyes are telling us a lot more than what meets the eye. eyes always tell a story, and that's one thing. I delved into animating, and one of the hardest things to get right are eyes. Even in modern video games, you see eyes are the hardest thing to get right. A lot of characters just look dead in them. So, needless to say, eyes can tell a lot of stories. So let's look at one cutscene, for example. And something I noticed are the eyes will always do something when the character is about to do something that's a little out of character. It's not always the case. Obviously, there's some characters whose eyes are supposed to glow. And that's one thing I actually want to talk about, are the glowing eyes. In the world of Warcraft, we do have characters whose eyes glow, and that's just a normal thing. So we're looking, say, at the Lich King, Arthas, and in the final cinematic of Icecrown Citadel, he's on the ground, and you see the eyes, the eye smoke, the Deathwing, the Deathwing, the Death Knight smoke. I don't know what to call it, but it's leaving his eyes, and that's just natural. I'm pretty sure that's just his power just leaving him. So that, I mean, but that's what I'm indicating, is it's the power. I mean, the Lich King was, at the end of the day, or I guess Arthas, at the end of the day, was manipulated by the power of the Lich King. So there's a always, glowing eyes always say something. So I want to go and look at one cinematic, for example. The one cutscene, and it was actually the first time I noticed that the eyes are trying to tell you something, is in the cutscene Rejection of the Gift, where Zira is trying to forcefully make Illidan embrace the light, become lightbound. And you have a lot of things going on in this cutscene, but one thing that really struck out to me was Turalyon, that's right, Turalyon. I apologize, I'm so bad with pronunciations. But anyway, Turalyon is a really key feature in this cutscene for me. And again, what we're going for is his eyes. And throughout the majority of this cutscene, his eyes are glowing a very bright yellow, a bright gold. And Illidan's rejecting the gift, he blows up Zira, and you literally see, the explosion happened. The peak of the bright, it's not a reflection in his eyes, because the light blowing up has already occurred. So when they show, and it's like they make a purpose to show this. Like, they zoom in on his face, you look into Turalyon's eyes, and you see the light fade. They go from a bright, brilliant gold to a very dull, almost like a bronze. And then he says, yeah, you almost killed us all, blah, blah, blah. I wouldn't say it's necessarily out of his character, so that might be, I don't know what, oh wait, so I wouldn't say this would be necessarily out of his character, but one thing that we know that the light does, or at least the Naru, they can't project, they have to use humans as a conduit, basically. Not just humans, but anyone who embraces the light to it. So what I believe was happening in during the Zira trying to make Illidan embrace the light, she was using Turalyon as a conduit, which is why his eyes were glowing. Which means when you get interacted by a force, whether it's chaos, whether it's fury or wrath, I forget what that one's called, or even the light, your eyes are going to change a color. And in this case, his eyes grew a brilliant, bright light when that Naru died. When Zira passed away, his eyes dulled. There was no more light in his eyes because he was no longer Zira's conduit. So let's look at and we know that Naru need to use humans as conduits because I forget its name, I apologize, but the Naru in the Priest Order Hall had to use Anduin as a conduit to raise Kalia. I mean, and we can even go into the Warlords cutscene where you had Garrosh versus Thrall, and at the turning point where Thrall uses the elements to go and defeat Garrosh, his eyes turned into a brilliant, bright red. It had like some weird waves going through it too. Not too sure what that one meant. It might have just been for effect, but it's when he used so much elemental power there. I assume that's why his eyes were glowing, because he was utilizing elemental power, and from the looks of it, he was using a lot of it. So again, he was a conduit for the elemental power. But this gets really weird. Zandalari, that their eyes glow because they're always part of the Loa. So because they're so embracing, I'm sorry, I can't think of the proper term, but when they're embracing the Loa, which Zandalari always are, their eyes are always glowing. That's why. So let's go over actually a really important cutscene. This is probably the pinnacle of the Legion game, at least for me it was. When Illidan makes Sylvanas war chief. It's something that's very relevant right now in our storyline. We're currently trying to figure out who decided to make Sylvanas war chief, because it wasn't Vol'jin's idea. The Whispers told him to. We know the old gods do whispers and all of that, but I think anything's really cool with whispering. So to say that it was the old gods, it was N'Zoth who told him to make Sylvanas war chief, I mean, it's more than likely the case, but we'll see. I guess we'll see. But the important thing for me there is, again, you look at the eyes. So Vol'jin makes Sylvanas war chief, and as he draws his final breath, his eyes go from the glow to fading away. Now that could just also just be like their art style. Maybe it means nothing. It could potentially mean nothing. That when you die, your eyes just don't glow anymore. Maybe every character's eyes glow to some point. But it's weird to me that he makes a decision about Sylvanas being war chief, a very controversial one within the horde, and his eyes just cease to be bright. They're dark. Again, could just be what happens when you die. Maybe your eyes just go from that glow. But the fact that they zoom in on his eye and they just dim down, I find it a little weird. It's a little fishy to me. But here's where I'm really going with this. And it really shows that it probably was N'Zoth who is right now manipulating Sylvanas. And this is, if you look at her Warbringers, let's look at Warbringers right now. And the first one was Jaina, but Jaina at the moment right now in this discussion is pretty irrelevant. Her eyes do glow when she's holding her father's pendant, and says, there you are, and then her eyes glow. But again, she's being a conduit for the arcane, or whatever it's called, the frost, I don't know. Look at the last, so we're going to be looking at the last two Warbringers. We have the Sylvanas one, and we have the Queen Ashara one. First off, let's look at the Queen Ashara one. Because the main thing of that are the eyes. You see N'Zoth's eyes everywhere, and then you get a final look at Queen Ashara's eyes, who are now glowing, very similar to how N'Zoth's were glowing. And, I mean, you can look at it, and it's not a natural glow. It's not a glow that you're always going to see on that character. It's only at certain points. So now we're going to go over to the Sylvanas one, and again, it's not a natural glow. It's not a reflection. Her eyes are glowing that same color that N'Zoth's are. I believe it was N'Zoth who manipulated that. I mean, that seems like a confirmation to me, because your eyes just don't glow. And for the most part, Sylvanas' eyes were always a red, and now they obviously changed a little bit. So I think the eyes are telling you a bigger story than we all think. But it certainly seems that for the first time in a long time, if ever, Jaina Proudmoore has all her shit together, and everyone is kind of losing it. So I think it's a funny, ironic turn of events that Jaina Proudmoore is currently, as far as we know, the only one not being manipulated, especially since for the longest time, everyone was speculating that she was a Death Lord, I believe it was, and Blizzard shot that one down. And I mean, this kind of proves it. If it was a Death Lord, I think now he's either just trying to settle down, or he's just truly given up after we took down Sargeras. So either way, there's a lot of stuff going on in this story, and I'm actually really excited to start making videos like this. So honestly, if you guys like this, just let me know. Obviously, I think I was all over the place. I was really all over the place with this video. I apologize for that. Really haven't been making videos in a long time. I really want to get back into the swing of doing YouTube. I've been doing Twitch a lot, so if you guys want to check out my stream, I'll put the links down below. I also stream on here as well, so you really don't have to go anywhere. But either way, thank you guys. Please, constructive criticism is welcome. I really do want to get better at this, so just let me know what I can improve on. And hopefully this video is better than I think it's gonna be after I'm done editing it, because I really was all over the place, and there's a lot of things I'm gonna have to edit with this. So this is truly gonna be a project for me. So next time, when I make a next video, I want to delve more into what's going on with Sylvanas and what I think is going to happen with Sylvanas. I feel like she's really going down the path of Azshara. If you look, they're really mirroring each other there. If you look at Azshara and what she was and what she is now, she really was caring for her people. She really wanted to save her people, which is exactly what Sylvanas wants to do, is save her people. So do you think she's going to be making a deal with N'Zoth? to save her people. I doubt they're going to become undead Nagas, but I'm pretty sure Enzoth has his own plans for the Forsaken. But again, we can delve into that next time. Thank you guys so much for watching. I truly do appreciate it. And again, constructive criticism is needed. Let me know what you guys think, and I hope to see you guys in the next one.